look at sometimes, but it depends on which side you're rooting for. Teams currently sticking to their guns, although Sensic going to a counter Widow. This map a little bit easier as you can sit way in the back underneath the shops looking into the points, as we've seen many players do time and time again here. You got a few high ground positions to take as well, but it depends if anyone's going to try and counter you, but not a ton of high mobility heroes here to take that deal on.
No, you just need to be careful and make sure that you're not trading off too much value by not putting that sixth body on the point.
Absolutely.
Let's see what Sensic can do here on the Widowmaker. I wasn't able to find any easy shots, but of course, as the words come out of my mouth, Vic7 gonna go ahead and get his head clicked on, and that opens the doors for Weed Stomp on LAN.
Well, a bit of a push from the other side. Kiwi very front heavy here. Shelly is constantly damage boosting currently, but will eventually switch to the heal. Some long distance healing and damage from the other side though, and finally the fight moves to the point, but Kiwi, the woman of the hour.
Yeah, and it's a bit difficult for Sensic to watch that happen, but he did take that perch within the shops. And as the fight rotated onto the point, he lost all of his sight lines and he didn't have the grapple to get back into the fight and had to watch New Elite solo in onto the point. And right now, Aftermath. Ooh! The barrage snipe from Vive.
That burst damage that just feels so good. Ooh.
They're gonna go ahead and grab it way off the point because they can go ahead and pick the low-bearing fruit, and they will grab 3 easy kills and take at least another 25 seconds off. And if Vive isn't careful, he's gonna get his head clicked on, just like we saw Vic7 earlier in the fight.
Man, when Zarios are on a roll, well, never mind, they're dead. Anyway, that's the second time Kiwi's actually thrown a Graviton Surge into a wall, separating his team. And Transcendence have to be sightline based, or you're not getting that healing here.
And this time they're ready for Ryderis. Great move from Vive, keeping that Transcendence in his pocket until the Dragon Blade came out. And now they're losing minimal members. The only person that they lose is Luth. And that's just because Sensic was over there in a little corner looking for the Pharah, able to find the headshot. But right now, Weed Stomp on LAN needs to figure out a way to get on top of Aftermath here.
I think a switch off Widowmaker is needed currently, a little bit more oomph and bang for your buck here. But with New Elite coming up to a Graviton Surge, but he has to stay alive in the meantime. Sensic falling once again.
The charge from Saucy Dog is not going to work out as he gets barraged by the orbs from Vive the entire way through. Doesn't make it very far. And right now it's a 3v3. You only have the Genji who's on the point and Sensic who just switched off to that Hanzo for a little bit more utility. And the Shatter. This is going to be super, super big. A little bit of tactical crouching coming out from Kiwi on the Zarya. Definitely a proud member of Team Aftermath here. Graviton's there, gonna go ahead and keep the supports off of the point and grab a couple of cheeky trophy kills for Kiwi. And right now, We Stomp on LAN just does not have the utility to get back on point. Ryderis has been trying his best to keep the contest.
Woof! Aftermath with a very convincing third round there on Night Market. It really came down to Kiwi being such high energy all the time, and obviously you're going to be building up the Graviton Surge, which recently been nerfed, although with the counter to that, your energy falls away or degrades less, so obviously split opinions on that one. But so good uses of Graviton Surge, especially I'm a fan of splitting the team if they're up against a wall, especially you're going to be combining people on either sides, and that Transcendence, once again, light of her. Oh, what am I thinking? Oh, line of sight. Oh wow, I just and you get my point, I guess. Maybe, I don't know.
I do, and I agree. When you separate the team like that, especially if you do it when there's a Transcendence, you can put a shield in between, and you can get some cheeky little kills from that blocked healing. But that being the case, so far, all we're seeing right now is a bunch of Weed Stomp on LAN underestimating. I think they came into this match in a way that just, it's not what I'm used to seeing from them.
Yeah, I'm so used to seeing, especially Sensic has been a very dominant DPS throughout some of the stages here, but I guess maybe it's not favored. He does not playing his favored maps, perhaps. Looking for the longer sight lines like on Gibraltar, which is on the docket right after Horizon Lunar Colony here. So we'll have to see as we come into a 2CP map for the next matchup.
We will be right back, ladies and gentlemen, after this intermission with Horizon Lunar Colony.
One, two. Ooh, excuse me. Oh boy. Aftermath keeping the roster.
Where is tonight's actual scorecard? There they are. Jesus. These are so far up in the chat. This is the one I need. I thought I had the right scorecard, and then I found out that I just had somebody else's scorecard, and there was already shit written on it. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Back after a short bout of technical difficulties, but we are good to go here on Horizon Lunar Colony. Somewhere that you really don't want technical difficulties because you can't really breathe without all that electric stuff. You know, as the astronauts.
Oh yeah, the ill-forgotten outdoor section of Horizon Lunar Colony, which has only been used, I think, once in like professional tournaments. Maybe one day we'll see actual.
Wasn't that also like one of the first times that Horizon was even put onto the professional scene as well?
Probably. It was way before I know the rework that Horizon got last month. So,
by the way, fun fact: if you are on the outside part of Horizon Lunar Colony, you can see all the little divots where Hammond was slamming around. Those aren't from asteroids; those are all from Hammond.
Really?
I mean, in my life, in my canon, they are.
Overwatch lore, I'll accept it. Put it in the wiki.
It's part of my fan fiction. The PG kind, guys.
Yeah.
Get your minds out of the gutter. Come on. Kids are watching somewhere.
Well, trusty Junkrat's Rydaris going away from his trusty sword to the even more sporadic and random pills that he likes to throw around. He's looking for maybe a trap. He has maybe on a shield. Oh, he got someone for the time being, but damage is healed back up, and they're going to make their way up to the high ground to meet their foes here. Teams back on their starting colors. Aftermath on red. We stomp on LAN on blue. Ooh, nice fire strike to lead things off.
Yep, Sensei doing a good job of staying far away from Aftermath, so he can't really get dove upon. He will take out Luth, follow up with a kill on the Death Guru, looking for the kill onto Shelly on this Moira. He's able to get to the low ground. The rest of his team is 5. Very, very low. Finally able to get back, but ADD not going to follow the same fate as he gets taken out by Sinsic as well. And, you know, remember that part where we said that Sinsic was being tame? That usually he's an amazing DPS, but we just haven't seen him today. Looks like he decided to show up.
He's flexing now. Especially flexing that bow. Already on his way to a trusty dragon strike on a small control point. That will be fun to deal with here. We already saw a coalescence come out from Shelly in the late stages of that push. And they were already down 2 members at that time. So it was, yeah, questionable. Maybe they had an opening that they thought was there, but obviously was not true. As they are now hurting on the ultimate front. AD with a quick build, but now is plateau just slightly here with his Earth Shatter. But everyone on the other side, we stomp on LAN. Sitting close to all 6 here. Boy, oh boy, they have their pick. Dragon to lead things off.
We do have multiple combinations they can do with that Graviton. Looks like they're going to save up for nothing. Riptide going to go ahead and get spammed by Rydaris. He will find Luth Ninja. I forget, going to be a powerful source of healing, taking out of the fight, and kind of makes this Goats comp a little bit trickier to pull off. There they go, charging through the top spot, trying to get over through the middle of the point, and all the way to the right. Blocked Earth Shatter. Salty Dog kept the shield up, but the Sound Bear are going to be able to let them initiate. Sound like a Earth Shatter as well from Salty Dog. He does find he does find Shelly Bean. Sensei gonna help with the final kill onto that, getting charged. Salty Dog gonna go ahead and fall. Audit to Kant getting the kill on the ADD to help even things out on the fight as Vic throws in a self-destruct, putting all the supports off of the point, giving themselves just a little bit of control percentage as they now fight that high charge Zarya in the new Elite, who has the Graviton ready to go, and if he chooses to use it, he will have a dragon to pair. They've already won the fight though, so there's no reason to commit the Graviton at this point in time. As members spoke too soon, as members of Aftermath decide to go ahead and enact the Caster's Curse on me.
Oh boy. I mean, ADD once again coming from absolutely nowhere with a charge. This time hitting the Earth Shatter to absolutely, completely get that point with only 5 minutes left. Which, all things considered, on 2 CP, that's almost a low time, I guess. Especially at capturing that first point, giving you a good old hefty 4 minutes 30 seconds, I believe. They have a few in their arsenal. Shelly Bean and Death Guru. That's a good combination there. Coalescence plus Graviton. But they have to get to the point first, and they are getting mighty low there. Oh, they're going to trap up top.
It hit the Reinhardt in mid-jump as he came off the high ground off of the push. It slapped against his shield, kept them all put up, but they were able to keep themselves alive throughout. Throwing out a Graviton of their own. There's the Dragons from the opposite side, but Shelly Bean throwing out the Coalescence into that meld of people there. Will find himself 2 kills, make it 1 with Luna getting the res up, but Vibe quickly looking to put that back to a 4v6, make that a 3v6. Charge from Salty, not going to do too much as he has nobody to charge into, with Loot the Ninja getting taken out there. Right now, Aftermath trying to even things out. It's going to be a bit of an uphill battle. The respawns are not in favor of Aftermath. We will be seeing Weed Stomp on LAN. Nope, they were going to even out, but Luna getting taken out means it's going to be a little bit more of a struggle. Vic and a good kill into Audit. And those Dragons are going to be a little bit of a last-ditch effort. Everybody coming in on this stagger. It is difficult to get any kind of presence on the point.
Luna getting the resurrection on the Salty Dog, but Coalescence going to pop out, and boy, Vic going to have a heyday, potentially with his self-destruct popping off here, and Salty Dog having a rough time staying on points. Going to grab 2. Well. A good presence on point. Great sustain there. Triple healers, triple tank. It all kind of stems when there was I would say an almost turn in the tides. Weed Stomp on LAN were close to shifting that. But Vic was in Baby Diva form, and no one got her down. She just went around and into the back lines a bit, actually, and ended up taking down Rydaris with a Bunny Blaster, which Junkrat on this point is so helpful because the nades and the pills are so strong in these, well, the attackers want to be on that point, but with such an explosive radii that he has, well, it can be interesting to play with. But that Bunny Blaster, and no one really saw Vic in the back, was able to take him down, and that kind of got the ball rolling there for Aftermath here.
And this is another moment where Aftermath is coming in with what I can say is nothing other than a surprising push here. The Graviton coming out onto point B, they were completely ready for it, and it caught them in mid-jump. As an entire team, they were jumping off the high ground. They got grabbed. They're able to slive through it, and then the Graviton in the return is what started that prolonged fight there at the very, very end. Which I will admit, I did not think they were going to come out on top. I did think the respawns were going to come in for Weed Stomp on LAN. But Aftermath doing a beautiful job dealing with those respawns, prioritizing the healers.
Yeah, it's always interesting trying to counter and play against the GOAT's composition. I personally haven't really found a way, unless you get people or heroes that are equally good at, the stun and CCing, or just laying down massive amounts of damage. We don't see McCree played terribly often, but that could be an option to at least stop 1 or 2 of those heroes that, like, all the shields, just to open up an avenue for your DPS, your tanks to move in. But who knows? We'll see. Weed Stomp on LAN now going on the attacking side, looking for a not quite a dive. Rydaris, though, sticking with the Dragon Blade. I'm assuming a Nano Blade going to come out mixed with the Graviton Surge. Sensic, though, on that Widow once again, trying to flex those DPS muscles, and he's going to be sitting probably way in the back here, high ground, hard to get to, even though Death Guru will be playing Diva, able to get out there, maybe interact with a little Widow action. But Vic as well, the counter Widow, a bit of a showdown here. And, well, now you got to play around some shields, especially Vic going into Salty Dog and Sensic going into ADD. So it's all about positioning at this moment. See how they deal with those.
If Sensic is able to get at the better hand of Vic 7, that's going to open up a huge avenue for Weed Stomp on LAN, allowing Sensic to just sit back and pepper in shots, because Death Guru won't be able to contest.
Yeah, and well, the fighting of a very stationary, smaller shield to a mobile high impact shield. Ooh, boy.
And we thought it was going to be one of the Widowmakers coming out with the first kill. But Vive going to kick things off with a Jonak-like shot onto Ryderis, who is immediately going to get rezzed up. But Vic7 going to follow up with a kill on his own. Right now, Weed Stomp on land is pushing the lower ground. They're not going to contest on the high ground. They're going to push straight to point. Their plan is to pull the shields and pull the attention away from Sensic. Allow him to sit in the back. And from there, they can get the upper hand. Stomp on land's plan seems to be working as the shots from Sensic land, and Ryderis cleans up on that damage, finding himself a key kill there. And now, up on top, Vive getting very low. Ryderis getting the kill onto ADD as Weed Stomp on land very smoothly goes for this point A take. And if they can get themselves a decent little time bank going, they already have 66%. They're practically 75% to a Nano Blade if you average those two percentages, and that's exactly what you want to see, because Ryderis doesn't even necessarily need that Graviton.
No, not absolutely. And now they know where everyone is here. They see those stragglers up on top of the construction beam, but they're going to dive straight in here. And, well, a tire coming out from up top. Who's going to grab? Salty Dog, maybe. Ooh, just going to grab a Luna, the woman to get.
He will lose his life as well. Quite a vulnerable position to rip tire from, as Sensei goes on one of his sick tears here. He's already grabbed 2. Why not make that 3? Looking for the kill into Baby Diva, but the self-destruct's a bit distracting, so he's not going to be able to find it, as Ryderis' Dragon Blade does take Shelly Bean out of the fight there in the back. 6 minutes and counting. They're able to take it here. They'll be able to do so with 3 minutes plus of what you would originally, sorry, 2 more minutes than what you would originally start with. But Weed Stomp on land still being able to survive through this. Owlet mighty low there in the back line, staying as far away from the point as possible. Transcendence and Valkyrie both come out for Aftermath. Layering those support ultimates on top of each other is never a good sign, but they are able to keep the contest alive, as New Elite does desuit Death Guru and you lose your Diva on point. Salty Dog getting mighty low, but his healers are going to be able to keep him up. And Ryderis, there it is. The Dragon Blade comes back out, looking for the Zenyatta in the backline. He will find the Zenyatta. Now he's looking for Vic7. Vic7 going to follow as well. Graviton to help him out with all those targets. But he's not going to find any more with the Dragon Blade. But the Dragon Blade isn't how he kills most of his victims. It's with those shurikens. As he desuits Death Guru, and New Elite does find the kill into Luth Ninja. Weed Stomp on land begins to take complete control here. Finally, almost grabbing that first tick. There it is. A little bit of consolation prize as Sensei grabs himself a double kill on that Widowmaker. And Ryderis, Shuriken melee as sure as he can. He's going to do as much as he can to get the point right here. Nice dash through both of the tanks at 57% to his ultimate. Salty Dog with the Earth Shatter, looking for the opening, but he's going to go ahead and smack Shelly Bean on the way in and take that Mercy out of commission. Lucio, Vive, trying to get onto the point. The Earth Shatter is waiting for anybody who dares try to contest here, as we stomp on land. Nano boost Salty Dog into overtime.
Boy, oh boy, the extended fights of 2CP. Oh, aren't they great? Initially,
I love them.
Yeah, in that second point push, we stomp on land. They position themselves very nicely. They had the 4 members on point, creating chaos. Obviously, you have to dislodge those as defenders. Sensic sitting on the high ground, picking people off. That initial tear that you talked about, that 3, I think almost a 4-piece perhaps. But they kept it going strong for quite a while. Good sustain, and that was all because of Audit Decant, who is on the opposite side from Sensic, on the main ground, the main floor, however we would like to say it. And, well, they were both Sensic and Audit were uncontested for, gosh, probably like a minute and a half at least. It wasn't until ADD finally went to the Winston after a couple deaths, and immediately went for Sensic, who did fall right away once he got pressured. Then a couple seconds after that, Audit Decant was pressured as well. But once again, it's like sustain was just good enough, and Luna was doing a great job of evading and staying just at the cusp of that like danger line, not really falling. And as soon as she got pressured, hit that Valkyrie and kept the healing going, and they took it with 434, but with that initial timer of 7 minutes, that's not too bad of a stall from the side of Aftermath.
Not at all, and it seems like Shelly stuck there in spawn. will be joining our team just at this moment. It seems like we do have a disconnection from Shelly Bean. Not what you want to see when you're on your first overtime push. ADD, however, is still going to come out on top on Audit to Con. 5v6 is nothing to sneeze at, but they're going to go ahead and take this in stride with a good kill onto Luna. Now they've taken out the Mercy and the Reinhardt, and as a 5v6 Aftermath on the brink of taking point A and over in their overtime push here. It looks like they have exactly what they need. Only a Hanzo really able to be there to contest, if anything at all. Ooh, the nice mid-air headshot onto Vive as Sinsick decides to just, you know, you guys want to 4v5, 5v6? Oh, that's cool. I'll 1v3.
They're not even going to bother with a pause, apparently. They're going to keep going at it. And, well, Sinsick came out with some great headshots there and saved the point there. And still 40.5%. There they go. Finally calling the pause as I start a separate timer for them. So, well, interesting push, I guess. I guess they didn't realize the crash because that, you know, takes a while for everything to update there. But regardless, boy, the power of Sinsick on Hanzo this map is just quite incredible. We saw him do a decent amount of damage and have good prowess on the skill for the first hold there, but he's already got his dragon, of course. If all things considered, an easy ultimate to get, especially with that Storm Arrow just blasting through shields and tanks. But he's going to be kind of a linchpin at the moment here. He's the only one with an ultimate. Everyone else is under 50%. Rydar is switching onto Genji to get back to point quicker here. But, you know, ADD maybe can make some things work with a Primal Rage, but we also have Vic on Sombra, who did some early scouting. That's gonna be the
story of the next fight.
Right, and once that EMP goes off, it's who it affects and if there's enough follow-up to finish the team off. Shelly's back.
Wow. Glorious. She'll be able to come in proud. Her team fought it. That was a hell of a 5v6. I did think that Aftermath was going to be able to hold it. Good on Sinsick with that that huge late triple. He got the headshot onto Vive while in mid jump dash. That was an impressive feat. I've been tilted on the Zenyatta once or twice when a Hanzo's done that to me, but we're going to unpause and get right back to the action.
And Vic gonna do some scouting. Maybe hack some health packs, the megas, the small ones, wherever they can find, if they can get to it. But certainly just gonna be avoiding detection for the current amount of time.
Yeah, Aftermath's got to regroup here.
Well, they have 1:20 left on the clock here. Shelly Bean, of course, resetting that ultimate con here, but already, of course, up to a fourth of the way there. Mercies, am I right? Herp derp. But high ground, they will take it. Rydaris, once again, going straight for the supports.
Yep, ADD trying to map out where the Zenyatta is. He does find Audit to Comp, he's met with the Reinhardt. Primal Rage is going to go ahead and say bye-bye to damage because I've got 1,000 health. He's going to go ahead and try and find a couple of kills, but everybody's running away from the big monkey. Luna in a little bit of trouble. Discord Orb and a Tesla Cannon is a recipe for disaster as she does fall. Dragon's onto the point coming out of Sinsick, but not going to find any value as everyone just ducks away into their own little corner. And now, not only is he behind, but that's going to be a stagger. They're going to have ultimates, and they're going to have a 5v6 coming into this next fight.
This is exactly what they need at this moment. While there will be a bit of setup here from We'd Stomp on LAN, and they have an Earth Shatter to stop things here, but Vic is that one to use, the EMP. There's a lot of words that didn't make sense there, but we're going with it.
Dragon Blade on top, the Transcendence coming out to make sure that no damage can get through. EMP so they can get their own damage if they want to. Hack onto the Genji, gonna make him fall. There's a self-destruct, taking Salty Dog out of the fight as Aftermath looks to make this a 4v2. The kills are insane as everybody on the team decides to grab themselves a piece of the damage here. Luth Ninja with a kill and a new elite to kind of finish off that party there as Rydaris tries to contest, but even through the deflect can't do so. Salty Dog has the ultimate, but he gets hacked by Vic.
And booped off the point. That's truly the target to get as a Sombra. If there's an enemy Reinhardt, boy oh boy, if you hit that EMP, and as we saw that self-destruct coming in, Salty Dog tried his darndest to get off that point from the initial ensemble that just rocked We'd Stomp on LAN's world, because boy, everyone's counting on that Reinhardt. Keep the shield up. Oh boy, that EMP just negates all that, and well, they're able to take it with a bit of change in the bank there. 20 seconds. We see a lot of these pushes go straight into overtime, so having time going into these later rounds is going to be key. But of course, they have to hold here for 4.5 minutes, which is a minute and a half longer than they had. Well,
and on that last walk-in where Salty Dog had that Earth Shatter, ADD had just used and had his bubble broken. So had Salty Dog been able to press Q coming out into that fight, he would have been able to snag the entirety of Aftermath, and We'd Stomp on LAN may have had a chance there to kind of revert things back to how they wanted it.
Yeah, it's just those poor timing of events that just happen at the absolute worst time here. Once again, we get to see a bit of a Widow duel early on. We saw Sensic take the first blood against Vic earlier. Can they repeat again? But they're not quite seeing each other at the moment.
Sensic is making sure that the only person that sees him is who he wants. And that's just going to be that diva up on the high ground who can't really commit to grappling. But now he knows there's a Pharah. So he's not going to be looking for Vic. He's going to be looking for Luth or Vive here on the other side of the field. Vic, however, will find Rydaris. So first Widow kill falling to Aftermath. We'd Stomp on LAN not having the easiest time of initiating. They may have to shave a little bit of time off the clock, but Sensic finally getting the kill into Vic as Salty Dog dives into the back line here.
Rocket Puck kills on the audit to camp. They will get brought back. Salty Dog actually going into the coveted low gravity zone after ADD got a little too deep there, going for Luna. And We'd Stomp on LAN are getting the kills that they want here. Salty Dog getting Death Guru out of the fight. They don't have a diva to do anything about Sensic. Vic is on the Tracer, so he's going to have to find a way to get off of the point and find Sensic out there in the distance. But that's not going to be easy to do from the spawn room as Rydaris sends him there. And a lot of time for We'd Stomp on LAN to get point B in a hurry, and they have the ultimates for the snowball. But let's see how Shelly Bean and Vive work in tandem here. Both have their ultimates as well. And they're going to be waiting for a myriad of moments to use them as to decide on which combination of ults that's coming into their faces that will be most effective.
Running a similar strategy as their initial push by leaving Sensic on the high ground as they push through the opposite side to get a little bit of distraction going, open up the sidelines, but ADD reads them like a book, taking Sensic out of the fight, and this completely deflates this attack. At least it did initially, but that was before Rydaris had a Dragon Blade to talk about. There's the barrage coming in from the top. It almost takes out the Reinhardt, but it will take out Zarya. New Elite going back to spawn as Aftermath barely stabilizes there off of the back of a great Dragon Blade.
Yeah, it was a bit scary and a little touch and go for the moment, but we saw Luth Ninja on the Pharah only getting one kill, but enough damage to allow the rest of his team to evacuate and push out the attackers here. And they're able to stabilize for just a moment. ADD positioning himself well for any squishy that will come through those doors, and he can have a good range of motion as he's looking to eye Sensic way in the back, but hey, they're having a little bit of face-off at the moment.
Ooh, ADD will find that first kill on the Sensic. You know, you don't really want a 1v1 a Winston. But ADD was not able to get out of that fight, so Audit Decant will be able to kill him as they get the res onto Sensic. Now, Luth Ninja, that's what they need to be worrying about on the attack. Because defensively, Luth's just having a lot of fun, getting a lot of free damage in this fight. Nano boost ready from Audit Decant. Finally, Luth taken out by Sensic. Vic looking for the opening. Does get the kill onto Rydaris, so there will be no Dragon Blade from him this point, but a nano boosted Salty Dog is one you don't want to meet in the streets as he takes down as many as he can. Make that 3 for the book, make that 4 if you throw in a baby diva. And now We'd Stomp on LAN has control of the respawns. and a little bit of a stagger. Not choosing to go in immediately, ADD letting some time pass to allow for the respawns to come in with him instead of after him. They do get a kill onto Luth Ninja, but Luna falls and they've lost their mercy. No respawns left. Transcendence coming out from Vive. New Elite does get Shelly Bean on his self-destruct, so no resurrection for Aftermath either, as ADD takes out Owlet to Khan. Both supports down. As we Stomp on land tries to get this point with 56 seconds left. Death Guru has to desuit, nothing else to be done there, as New Elite also gets demeched. It seems that each team, both teams, are up in the kill feed, man. I mean, it's neck and neck, left and right. Aftermath finally stabilizing in the end, but not without losing a couple members late.
Yeah, and well, Shelly Bean did hit the Valkyrie very, very late there, so they're going to be down that in the last 30 seconds here. I'm assuming Red Dars is going to slap into that back line here with that Dragon Blade. No Transcendence to defend against it. Vive now on Lucio for the stall tactics. ADD once again positioning himself on the high ground, looking for any stragglers in the background, but Death Guru taking a brunt of the damage, but Luth out to save, and well, gets out of the way of the Earth Shatter.
Beautiful target selection from Idera as he takes Vic out, and Vic triggered the tac visor, so they lose that value right there. Now ADD, the Primal Rage, the only thing on point as far as an ultimate goes for Aftermath, as Luth tries to work up this Death Blossom. Primal Rage does come out to get a little bit of a stall going. Luth Ninja's Death Blossom finally online, but a self-destruct coming out from New Elite, gonna distract him enough for her to baby diva him to death. Death Guru coming back onto the point, but Owlet doing a beautiful job of healing off of the point while the rest of the team dishes out the damage. Nano boosted Salty Dog once again, not something you want to meet in the street, as since it takes the monkey out of the fight. ADD will fall. Shatter ready. Salty Dog willing. Looking for a couple of victims, and he finds a Death Blossoming Reaper. Death Guru as well gonna fall, and we Stomp on land one by one, taking the members of Aftermath out of the fight. There goes Vive. May coming in for the stall if she can do something, anything, as the overtime ticks down. We Stomp on land. We'll be able to take it.
God, they're only tying it up here is the thing as well, because wow, once again we're seeing, well, Sensic first off had Widow for a while, but ADD was doing such a good job at pressuring him that he switched off to Tracer, which seemed to help out in the end. We still saw Owlet to Kant sitting, this time not on the right side from the defender's perspective, but right in that center ramp looking onto point. Anti-heals, the nades were pretty good, but the healing, once again, very uncontested, but those overtime sections are very chaotic, and you have to make those snap judgments of, do you stay on the point and pressure the attackers off, or do you take one of your heroes who are quite vital and, you know, put them on a different path to take out that healer that's sustaining all those attackers in their presence on that point. Time told, and well, we Stomp on land had just a bit more in the back pocket as they came through in a tough fight. That Dragon Blade onto Vic, as we said, was massive. He hit the tac visor, but the slice came in just after, and boy, no hacking for you, no aimbot. So back on with a minute left. That's all they get. See if they can do another hard push here with a bit of goats or some variation of.
Alright, Salty Dog. No dive composition, no Widowmakers this time. The brawl is the story of the game. Since they're going to be on the Brigitte. One day I'll pronounce it right, just naturally. But Luth Ninja going to go ahead and take Sensic out, and that's the last thing you want to see. Luna might need to get back there for a res, but beautiful job babysitting the dead body so she can't do so. It's a Kant will fall. Salty Dog with the charge. And Luth Ninja as well with a kill. Luna will fall to ADD. And that's going to be all she wrote for Weed Stomp on land. They only have 10 seconds left. They don't have a Lucio in the bag. And by the time that they've regrouped, the counter is going to be over. So they have to fight with what they have on point. And that's only two people. A Genji and a Brigitte. Ryderis and Sensic trying to stall out for as long as possible here on the point for anything to get back. He pulls out a Dragon Blade. He's so low on health, but he can't find anyone to target there. Late shatter. Nano on to Salty, and that extra 300 HP so juicy for this kind of situation as he tears through 1, 2, 3. Looking for Shelly Bean on the Mercy. He'll find her. Sensei's going to help him out. And that's the reason, ladies and gentlemen, that Ana is back in the meta.
Absolutely, that buff is paying dividends now. It all started, though, with Rydaris and doing a great timing on his Reflect. He stopped McCree's flashbang, stunned 2 people with it, and was able to dash on the point and stayed alive just long enough for the rest of his team to get there. Of course, Luna coming in as well, diving in and getting a very risky resurrection and coming up to her Valkyrie as well. Once again, ADD coming in the backlines, but a lot of people are getting ultimates now. This will be interesting.
Luke Ninja has that Deadeye, so they can get something on to New Elite. New Elite not present with the defense matrix, barely not getting reflected, but Luke Ninja not going to find any kills from the Deadeye. There goes the self-destruct from Death Guru, looking to find at least one as ADD decides to grab himself 2. New Elite does get 2 as well, but they lose 2 healers. That's not what you want. Luna, they're still there. Will be able to get the res on the Salty Dog, bringing that Reinhardt back into the fight. He has an Earth Shatter, which he's going to go ahead and let loose, but he's going to get body blocked by the D.Va, so nothing will come out of that one. Still a pretty even fight on the point. Transcendence on the verge for Vive here. So he's able to get that online. He'll be able to stall out the point indefinitely as far as the respawns go, because there is overtime, so you do come back slower if you come back at all.
Yeah, but they're going to hold, but not after a first point take in our 5th round on Horizon Lunar Colonies. So, well, I mean, 20 extra seconds is, well, that could be a lot of time here. Still have to capture that first point, then only the first tick on point B. If Sensic, though, can pull another great Hanzo play or few on this defense like he did on other rounds here, Aftermath are going to be, you know, thinking in the brains. Got to decide what they want to do, but it seems like this more dive-centric composition that they're running seems to be working out fairly well for them. ADD doing a great job, and of course Death Guru following up as well on D.Va here. But now change is coming in, a bit of mix on the compositions here. Luth Ninja, while he did play Rocket Lady Farah, there we go, hello, on defense on point B. Yeah, that's about that time. Gonna be playing on an attack this time. No one's going for Widowmakers at this time. They want to be directly on that point, and they want to make sure that they can have every possible avenue to use their kits. And Vic, though, thinking about the Sombra, he'll stick with the Soldier. Maybe he's looking for a very consistent point of damage here. He's gonna have to play against Salty Dog's Rhine Shield, as well as Rydaris' miniature shield. So, bit of tough work for Vic ahead. Ooh, oh God! It's just,
I think you were saying something about Vic earlier, but Sensic decided to say goodbye. Shelly Bean, of course, will get him rezzed right back up, so it's not going to stop them too much. Shaved off a couple of seconds there. AD getting a big dive onto the high ground. He's going to get met with that Brigitte. She can be a bit of a dive killer in some situations. Shelly Bean still on the ground. Needs to get up in the air with her Pharah here. And use the power of that overpowered pharmacy. But it looks like we will be seeing Aftermath kind of trickle out of the fight here. They didn't like what they saw, and they lost ADD.
Yeah, they had a pick on New Elite late in there, leaving out on 5v5, but they wanted to be full strength here, and New Elite got to walk all the way back, switching to D.Va in the last second, trying to scurry back to point.
So Rydaris does to open this up with a kill on a Death Guru, but quickly taken by ADD, who's taken by Salty Dog. The tables just they're turning and turning. There's the barrage coming out from Luth Ninja. He will get helped out by Shelly Bean to get a couple of kills if you count that mech, but it's not gonna be enough. Overtime ticking down, and it looks like we are gonna come out with Weed Stomp on LAN having the victory here and finally putting themselves on the board.
Yeah, keeping it alive. Obviously, we play all 4 maps, always the 5th if we need it, but going for the 4th map to at least keep their hopes of winning this series alive here. But of course, since oh God, oof, my head. But yeah, it's Hanzo's to be feared.
And Watchpoint Gibraltar will be our final map, if I recall correctly.
It's a good one. I actually like it quite a bit.
What was the final score there? It was 6-5?
5-4 in favor of We Stomp
5-4,
on LAN.
yes.
Yes, but Watchpoint Gibraltar, a map of many places to take your perch. Grab a seat, maybe look down the scopes, shoot out some bullets.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a goats comp come out here as well. Farah can be useful here for the first 2 points, in my opinion. Other people disagree with me.
Yeah. No, I think so. I believe so. See if those teams are ready.
for Weed Stomp on land. The good self-destruct from Death Guru to find Ryderis, as well as Casual Alex's mech there. Kairu with the D-suit onto Death Guru. Transcendence coming out from Kairu, so we can keep his team alive. And the barrage from Sensik still in pocket. Hasn't used it. Making sure that he has that for that last situation. He doesn't want to use it too soon.
Yeah, a hard-fought offensive there, but they're gonna weasel their way on into the second stage, and this is where typically attackers like to shine. There's, well, storiedly hard places to hold, and even on top of this spaceship where a bunch of fighting is currently taking place. Diving and mobility heroes are the name of the game.
Death Guru getting taken out of that mech as Casual Alex tries to make himself a little bit of a name. Haven't seen him too much within this fight. Just subbed in for this fourth and possibly final map as Ryderis takes Vic 7 out of the fight. DPS being DPS, but it's going to be Ryderis coming out on top, and Weed Stomp on land has gained a lot of momentum. It's going to be quite difficult to stop. There goes the drop barrage onto the Zenyatta, but Luth Ninja will find a headshot onto Sensik, saving his mercy in the process and giving him a little bit of the upper hand here. Dragon Blade at the ready. Zenyatta very, very close to dying, but that bubble going to save him. Salty Dog going to be that savior. Luth Ninja not going to get res back up, but ADD going to go ahead and just grab himself a quick little double kill onto the supports. Who needs supports, right?
Well, that's what Vic is currently saying, because Vic is doing a great job at hacking anyone he can find. He did get Kairu at that last engagement here. ADD in a rough spot at the moment. But hey, they're coming back. They're rallying. Why not?
Yeah, Aftermath definitely finding a little bit of a trench to dig their heels into here. They had to use a few ultimates over what I would call an extended fight, but they still have some left, and that Transcendence is going to be big. If they can keep Ryderis in check, they may have a chance to out-sustain through this fight and protect this point. With only 1 minute and 30 seconds left, this is only 2 long fights away from a good hold.
The EMP is going to be the big game changer here.
Now the ults start getting used. There's the EMP right on the tail of Vive's Transcendence. Ryderis has that Dragon Blade, and now he knows there's nothing to stop him from slicing and dicing Aftermath as he pulls it out. There he goes, going for that support. He will find Vive as soon as he gets Luth. Ryderis finding Vic 7 again as he dashes back to the point, getting a D-suit there onto Death Guru with the help of Sensik. And that's going to be a sad story right there. It's a sad day, as I would say.
Oh, well, but Sensik, well, he is quite a sad fellow, a somber fellow as Reaper. He's feeling pretty good as the diving heroes are going to have to, well, ADD finds personally the shotguns in the face will melt you. And with some healing orbs from Kairu, he will have some great sustain. Oh, currently hacked. He will keep things going here as they will push through with just under 30 seconds left. And now to hit those stragglers as Shelly, a little help from ADD. Keeping barely alive. Sensik, he can be out there. He has the Wraith form. But they're going to be pushing in. Coming into last, a very tough hold to break. ADD once again. Fan of positioning self. He will crouch a little bit high, but they know where he is.
Ooh, Discord on him as he approaches. And he drops right into the face of Sensik on the Reaper. Bit of a questionable decision there as Vic tries to escape as well. Self-destruct will take Luth Ninja out of the fight. And we stomp on land. They're finding the kills that they need here. Finding the kills that they want. A little bit of a late self-destruct. Won't find anything and you'll killed killed right as you get back into your mech, I should say, as Death Guru does get desuited for a second time in that fight. And right now, we stomp on land with the Death Blossom and Transcendence on cart. They are set to go ahead and take this.
Especially with everyone crowding around that cart, that Death Blossom is going to be key. Or maybe just walk right into spawn and see what he can do. Currently hacked, he'll have to wait for just a few more seconds.
One of the benefits of being a Reaper, though, is that when you get hacked, you don't lose much value. You still get healed when you shoot people, and you can still shoot people. And that's pretty much all that he needs to know how to do as he tries to whittle down the rest of these defenders on this point. Primal ranging Winston going to do nothing but feed him a little bit more ult charges. Death Guru finally takes one of the Weed Stomp on land supports out of the fight. Luna not able to find the res just yet, looking for a chance. He'll be taken out of the fight by Vive on that Lucio, and now we're going to see them stabilize with 16 seconds left. Weed Stomp on LAN doesn't want to give up, and that's what Sinsick and Ryderis are going to do. They're going to use the Primal Rage from Salty Dog to go ahead and find a couple of kills there in the back line. Casual Alex finally finds Luth Ninja on that Reaper, and Weed Stomp on LAN with no time left. They are now in overtime. Death Blossom, self-destruct, everything they've got in their hand will be spent.
And of course, Vic trying to come in with a late May off of the Sombra. Sombra not a terrible choice, but a very difficult choice to work around, especially with that payload constantly moving. If you're not having a good defensive hull, you're going to have to constantly be finding new health packs to hack. And well, you can try to deny the health packs, but the thing is, they're so out of the way on this map, especially in the second phase, that it's not quite as effective as it is on other maps like in 2CP or Temple of Anubis, as at least once was some time ago, before her kit change. Of course, infinite invisibility, because that's a thing. Well, let's do it.
And beautiful counter, I want to say counter dives from Weed Stomp on LAN, but that's not necessarily what it was. What they did is they allowed the dive. They let their tanks go off and dive. They let Ryderis go off and do his thing. And then they stuck Sinsick back with Kairu and Luna so that when ADD dove in, when Death Guru tried to pop in, and when Vic 7 went behind with the hacks, there was just this Reaper staring them in the face. And so they would win that battle in their own backline. And then by the time Sinsick joined the fight that was happening within Aftermath's backline, the fight was already practically over. I believe we're seeing...
Yeah, I'm looking at that too.
I mean, I'm not going to say no. Torbjorn can be super strong on this point with these corners, because if you there aren't like super long sight lines to take his turret out, so you do have to kind of put yourself in a dangerous position or to do so. But yeah, is he?
This will be interesting. It's good.
He's going back
to. Okay, I was about to say. I'm not even.
I see you, Sinsick.
Oh God, I want it to happen, but you're gonna. Well,
they're playing a pretty big mind game here. So he's actually not switching just yet. He wants them to see the turret.
Maybe
then
he's trying
he's
to
gonna
force
make
their
his
hand in
switch.
changing a composition for some reason. But there's no really a good shield except for a Winston bubble to keep it going. And right now it's not targeting anyone.
Nope. Yeah. Sinsick just immediately going to go ahead and make that Reaper switch. Now he sees what their composition is. They didn't know if they were going to go super divey or not. Now that he sees the dive, he will go for that Reaper in order to do a similar technique, most likely. Stay with the healers, protect them from the dive, and win the fight in the long run.
Well, that was an interesting tactic all in all. Sinsick, while he did switch off, that called the retreat here. And then they were able to kind of let the dive come into their draw. So Sinsick came in at the right time to get some extra kills. But obviously we're seeing that fell apart. And an interesting tactic, I guess. But it didn't quite pay off as they hoped. As they, well, basically not be able to contest that card at all. Coming through with over 5 minutes into this hangar phase. Aftermath, they got a few ultimates. ADD, once again, he's trying to make some ground, but the Discord Orb are making it a little bit more difficult.
Luth Ninja does have the Dragon Strike, and nobody's on the payload. Nobody's contesting at all. And yes, you don't necessarily need to just yet, but when the other team is being this aggressive and you're not even making an attempt to get up there, you're giving them so much free space for Luth and Ninja to just play around. There goes the Dragon Strike and the Dragon Blade, both of them grabbing a couple of kills. Death Guru will fall. Transcendence from Kairu going to keep people alive. Vive almost had his Transcendence for the fight, but he got taken out so early from Ryderis, they didn't have the chance. So Aftermath will have to go ahead and give up that fight, go back to spawn if Luth Ninja can make it. Ryderis being mighty aggressive.
I mean, even with the hack from Vic, Ryderis was able to get so many kills from his Dragon Blade because no one was really spread out on the side of Aftermath. They were still all sitting right next to the cart, so he didn't technically need his dashing. Well, except he's dead now. He didn't need his dashing at that moment to be as effective as he was.
Good res from Luna, but that's going to be the signifier for Aftermath. No res up for the other team. Kairu with a quick kill on the ADD. Death Blossom popping out, but you know what? There's a Storm Arrow for your face, Sin 6, so you're going to get sent home. ADD with the Primal Rage coming back from spawn. and a Transcendence from Vive to keep people alive on point if need be. But Luth Ninja, he's going to go ahead and say, hey guys, hop on my back, I'll carry us to point B, as he lets go of the Dragons, grabs himself a triple, and they stagger Luna pretty badly there.
Yeah, well, I mean, she did contest for, well, honestly, a little too long for just a Mercy sitting on the cart crouching. But Luth Ninja going the perfect angle there, right on the corner when that payload was cresting there. Not many places to run at that moment, but Rydaris does not last long in that fray.
No, he does not, and there is still a Primal Rage and Transcendence ready. Kairu falling! He had the Transcendence up, and he was going to be the one to save the point. But now, Aftermath, with more than just an opening, they have a gaping hole to jump through here. And they're going to be walking out with 4 minutes and 30 seconds to get point C here.
No one to stagger. They took people out just efficiently enough and took that point soon after. They're able to collect their breaths for a moment. The Vibe's going to be driving that payload, but they are taking an attack to them.
There it is. Vive has been holding that Transcendence for the entire game. Wonderful job making sure that Rydaris can't get anything with that Dragon Blade, but Death Guru's going to grab everything with that self-destruct.
Oh my. The hack. Everyone just looked real sad as they turned about face and saw a giant exploding bomb, and they couldn't do a dang thing about it. There creates so much space. Earth Shatter, though.
And a headshot from Sensik. And just to remind you guys sitting there at home, if you're not at the edge of your seats already, if Aftermath wins this map, they take home the map win. If WSL wins this map, we go to a 5th map and a tiebreaker. Dragons coming out from Sensik, trying to zone off the point. Vive keeping himself off the point just as much as he can so that he doesn't get taken out. AD with the Primal Rage, he's going to go ahead and pop that as his health gets low. And he does get the D-suit onto the Diva, but a self-destruct going to bring that right back onto the map. Kairu getting a great kill there onto Shelly Bean as ADD starts to rake in the kills, grabbing both, or 2 out of the 3 supports there. Vic7 going to go ahead and find Sin6. Now it's a 3v3. As long as Aftermath can get their respawns back in, they might be able to get a little bit of an upper hand in this next fight.
Yeah, ADD doing a great job, even at low health from that self-destruct, able to grab 2 eliminations just to keep things more complicated here. But Vic going in the way back, looking for an opportunity, hacking the right person at the right time. Maybe a Salty Dog here. Is Luth Ninja in the meantime getting resurrected back up as they begin their offensive, at least to position themselves, dodging back and forth, forward and backwards. ADD up first.
And there goes 3 ultimates there, 2 Transcendence and a Dragon Strike, as well as a hack onto Salty Dog. Neither ultimate really grabbing much because of those Transcendences, but the Shatter is going to be a completely different story as he grabs both tanks and a support within that ground-breaking ultimate as Casual Alex goes ahead and finds himself a few spots within the kill feed. We Stomp on LAN not only found a trench to dig into, but they seem to find a groove to play into as they are alternating their ultimates here.
I'm divided on Salty Dog's Earth Shatter there. They're already up at least 6-4 in that fight, but I guess they wanted to immediately deny any more push or any more chance that Aftermath had in that fight. So the past is the past. Vic now onto Junkrat, looking for a bit of shield break and clustered damage.
Now that We Stomp on LAN isn't playing any sort of dive composition, they don't have to sneak past anything. They're already at the end. Death Guru with a good kill on Luna! And the D-suit on the Casual Alex is exactly what you want to see. Sensik takes out Vive, but Vic7 there for revenge. And now We Stomp on LAN down. It's a 2v4 on the point. Salty Dog gets booped behind and tries to turn around for the 180 shower, but ends up putting it into a pillar, so he's going to lose that one completely as Shelly Bean's Valkyrie looks to help put the final nails here in the coffin. Only a couple members on point right now, a Diva and a Mercy versus a Diva and a Mercy. It's pretty much a mirror fight. Now Aftermath's respawns finally coming in as ADD falls to Sin6 sitting in that spawn room. Death Guru getting mighty low on the other side of the point, and the pin goes on to Shelly Bean. Salty Dog not able to bring his team back from the brink here with 40 seconds left. We Stomp on LAN is trying to muster a defense to push them to a 5th map. And Sensik with his 4th dragon of just point C here, gonna get met with the dragon from Luth Ninja. Neither of them finding kills, however. Transcendence ready from Vive. And he has no worry about a Dragon Blade because Rydaris is on the Brigitte. Speaking of Brigitte, there's the rally from Rydaris. Luna still has a Valk. Casual still has that self-destruct. Aftermath trying to stay alive here in their final fight, but it looks like we may be getting pushed to a map 5.
They are late. They're keeping themselves around too long at this point. They should have retreated quite some time ago. Death Crew will be able to touch this point, but they are nowhere else to be seen. AD can, well, he's used his jump with the self-destruct in his face. He's not going to be able to touch that here.
Ooh! Barely gets the
mind.
touch, but it's not.
Never mind.
Oh, gave me some
Never
excitement,
mind.
but that's about all. About all that she wrote. They're not going to be able to get anybody else back over there, and he died the second he hit it.
Yeah. Well. Tying things up, going on to Oasis. But before we do that, we saw Sensic when those double, well, I guess quadruple dragons from either side coming in and making great, nice spiraled colors. We saw Sensic use his defensively to hide the resurrection in a sense. Whether that was on purpose or not, it still worked out beautifully for them. As the resurrection did come in, and with the transcendence was well timed at the end to combat the enemy dragon strike, but they were able to sustain just a little bit longer here, and they are showing up now. They don't want to let this potential victory go away.
In our tiebreaker map today,
Oasis.
Hopefully we get to see Sensic back on the Pharah. And now this is a winner-take-all kind of fight, ladies and gentlemen. It's a tiebreaker. Pretty self-explanatory. It's not a misnomer. It breaks the tie at the end of this match. So we'll see if it's going to be Weed Stomp on LAN coming out on top, or will it be Aftermath with a 1-4 record looking to show Weed Stomp on LAN that those two numbers, they don't define this team.
Not at all. Maybe we can just get the teams. Maybe they're ready and raring to go.
there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. Beautiful boats, beautiful architecture. Here at Oasis, it's me, Steidl. I'm here with MrAlan. And this is it, Alan. This is all we're gonna get to see.
Ooh, well, Steidl, the end-all be-all, this is what we came here to see. Now, Oasis has been well played, and there's been a lot of tiebreaker maps, it seems like, on this stage. Now, historically, I feel that when casting the matches I have, that these seem to be very one-sided. But if anything is going to tell here, we did have one control map earlier today, Lijiang Tower, and Aftermath did come out with a 2-1 victory. But that was almost off of the back of Kiwi, who is currently not in. The Kiwi did play Zarya here, but they found their stride, for at least for the most part here, with this, not quite a dive composition. The soldier kind of throws things off here, but the Fire Mercies are present on both sides. And well, battle of attrition here. Beautiful gardens.
Let's take this, guys, and check in with the Ferris. A good reflect from Loot Ninja off of the bat. Sorry, not from Loot Ninja, from Rydaris, reflecting a rocket back at Loot Ninja. Taking his position here as the aerial threat, looking for the few kills onto the Genji as he dives into the backline, but Sinsik and Casual Alex that are grabbing the first 2 kills as they dive back onto Vive and ADD. Sinsik trying to level things out here, or keep things rolling, should I say. As Casual Alex does get the D-suit onto Death Guru, and there's a bit of an air battle, but Loot the Ninja fairly alone on the point right now for Aftermath.
Yeah, Sinsik was initially fighting, of course. Fire Mercies always like to spar for a bit initially, but Sinsik decided to divert them himself and just lay down rockets for those less fortunate folk who are not able to fly around. And well, the diversion of damage was good enough for them to start getting those picks, and Loot the Ninja lasting quite a long time, almost a stall, or rather a stagger, as they eventually come back in at 25% on point.
Sinsik looking for the kills into the backline. He almost has a barrage. One more direct rocket hit and he'll have it. He has the supports in his sight. Shelly been getting dangerously low. She will be able to squeak her way out of that one. Right, Darius with the Dragon Blade. We've seen how destructive these can be. Here goes one. Here goes another. He could go for a third, and he decides to take Vic 7 out.
Casual Alex not even having to rocket herself up to take down Luth. Very low on health and a minor stagger, but all in all, they're sitting fine here. Rydaris, well, they had the help of the Valkyrie, so 2 ultimates to reduce that push from the side of Aftermath. They are okay with that because they still got a few things in the back pocket here, baby. But Aftermath, they have, well, they got some well-lined pockets. I'm double or triple stitch, I think, there, because they got almost 6 ultimates with Shelly Bean with the Valkyrie.
It's a pretty preemptive one. Going to be able to keep everybody alive during the fight. Tag Visor from Vic 7 going to be the opener here. He will find Rydaris. The Reflectus was not there, but he will also get body blocked by Casual Alex. Not the kind of ending of the story that you want to see, especially when you lose your other DPS ultimate. Sinsik taking the kill on the Luth Ninja and then popping out a barrage of his own, trying to find a couple of kills, but Vive will find him in the skies as ADD's Primal Rage doing wonders on the backside of Death Guru's self-destruct, taking Salty Dog out, Tesla Cannon to tick a Rydaris to death, and that baby diva, of course, going to be the final victim. Stagger it as much as you can. 99% built up for Weed Stomp on LAN as Aftermath has to do a full reverse hold here if they want to take this first one on Oasis, man.
It's funny how one small error or just one small misstep can really put things against you. The initial attack visor from Vic led off the offensive, but the thing is, Audit Decant was so far away positioning-wise with the Transcendence that it took a while to get to the point and help his teammates, and well, Rydaris was the first to fall in that encounter here. They're hopefully not going to make that mistake again going further into this fight. Everything becomes very chaotic.
Luth looking for those air-to-air rockets on a Sinsik. Not able to find the second one. He did find the initial. Luna doing a very, very gutsy move by diving deep into the enemy composition. Luth falling low and going to go ahead and get taken out. by Salty Dog as we stomp on land. Looks like they're more than set to take the point back here. I don't think we're going to see a contest from Aftermath.
Oh, they're gonna pop their ults just to say halt. Well, no, Orissa's there, but still they're saying no, please, no further. But a very strong showing here from Weed Stomp on land. Learning some lessons from Lijiang Tower, obviously a different lay of the land. And you can play to other strengths and other heroes here, as Far Mercy, very popular on these maps. Not so much here on University, but regardless, we still do see Pharos from time to time here. Death Guru going over to the Zarya, going away from the Divas, looking for a little bit more sustain in the support of those bubbles here. Salty Dog, on the other hand, switching over to Reinhardt, gonna be blocking the beams from Death Guru. So it'll be interesting to see how quick Death Guru can get that charge up and keep a good amount of energy here, as that big rectangle man is gonna be blocking all that energy and damage.
Last minute switches on Sensek's side. Ryderis onto the Brigitte, Sensek onto that Hanzo. So they're going to switch it up a little bit. Like you said, Pharmacy not always run here, as it can be quite restrictive for the Pharah. Luth the Ninja deciding that's not going to be the case. He's going to be able to just fly on top of the point here, and now he's into the backline looking for a kill on a Sensek. Mighty low on the Hanzo. Can't find the direct rocket that he's looking for. So he won't be able to take Sensek out of the skies out of the ground just yet. He's looking for that splash damage kill, but he'll find his Zenyatta. He'll take that too.
Grab Hanzo and two on the heel there as he's trying to back up. And right now, no one can pressure Luth Ninja at the moment here. Already up to his barrage, practically. Salty Dog now going over.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Sensek with a great shot.
Salty Dog on the Winston here, and they're already changing things up. They want to push as hard as they can, as fast as they can.
And there goes the hammer down. I believe that was ADD knocking down the majority of Weed Stomp on land here. Vic7 grabbing himself a nice double as Luna tries to bring that main take back into the fight. And now it's pretty much an even fight. Audit Decant now bringing up the upper hand here as he puts this into a 6v5, a 6v3, a 6v2.
While the Earth Shatter was great to lead things off, it's always about that follow-up there. While he did get the two fatty tanks up front, that kind of blocked a bit of the damage to the squishier folk in the back who were affected. But of course, the resurrection came through with Luna, and that really turned the tide there. Luna already coming off the Valkyrie, because they want to keep on this point as long as they can.
There it is. There goes the Graviton from Death Guru. Transcendence is there to protect them from Luth Ninja's barrage. And it looked like Sensek also got a kill onto Vic7 as he popped that tac visor. That's not the first time we've seen that tac visor get popped as Vic died.
Oh my God. Oh, ADD bullied hardcore in the side room by Salty Dog, who actually a bit of payback if you think about it. ADD's been playing Winston a lot of the night here, and he's been a menace with those primal rages, but Salty Dog had a little bit of revenge in those moments. But ADD got that flash and Q button with that Earth Shatter. See if they can change things up and actually get some really solid follow through. Luna in a bit of a tricky spot there. They're okay with it. With the Junkrat now with Vic.
Good decision to defensively stay on the high ground to force a weird shatter, if anything else could be said, from ADD as he shatters straight into that Winston bubble. Transcendence from Vibe trying to keep what members are left alive on the point, but a bit of a moot one here as Vibe will get taken out by the Diva. And Aftermath just not being able to find a way to rekindle the flame they had in the early matches of today.
Well, yeah, it seems like the control points here on Oasis are much more restrictive, while on Lijiang Tower you have a little bit more open space, especially more vertical area. But ooh, self-destruct in Vibe, barely. He hit that S button to reverse for too long.
Not only that, but the Reinhardt's having a lot of difficult time. That flail, you can't shield it, you can't defense matrix it, but it can find kills onto pretty much anybody in your composition, which is another story when you have Sensei grabbing double kills left and right. And we'd stomp on land with a reverse sweep to take Oasis and the day.
We stomp on land, not infallible. While they have a very good record on this stage here, Aftermath, though, they came out strong. They came out with 2-0 there and put a great fight in Horizon, only losing 4-5 there as they went to, like, I think, was it round 5 or round 6? But boy, oh boy, great showings from a lot of the DPS. We saw Kiwi, who I hoped would come back in for this control to play Zarya here for Aftermath, but they wanted to stick with the players they had. Well, they seemed to suffice for some time, but We Stomp on LAN just overpowered them well far enough. They're going to bring out that victory on the reverse sweep here, going to Oasis once again. Boy, I don't remember the last time I've seen a non-tiebreaker matchup.
There have been quite a few of them in recent days.
Yeah, even Rydar's commenting, I quote, "Real talk, that game was amazing, just as nail-bitey as the last one." End quote.
You can bet that we are going to be seeing a lot of highlights in the Discord tomorrow, as I'm definitely rewatching this game to make sure that all the cool stuff gets picked up, because we deserve to have that in that the end of the stage roundup. That is going to be it for us here at the channel, ladies and gentlemen, as the clock ticks on for me and work approaches in the morning. I do want to give, go through my rounds of shout outs. Gotta thank all of the people down at Owlet, Dire Boyd, Hodohori, everybody who's doing all the admin stuff, because, they're doing wonderful jobs, and they let us do what we love to do, play a game we love to play, talk about things we love to talk about, all of the above. So huge shout out to them. Shout out to We Stomp on LAN and Aftermath for what was a stellar matchup tonight. I kind of wish that we would have been on the main channel, because everyone should have seen this matchup tonight. It was absolutely fantastic. Both teams played their hearts out, and we actually got to see both teams progressively evolve as the match went on, which was absolutely fantastic. And then last but not least, Alan, thank you for coming in, reffing the game, casting with me.
Perhaps blue screening, but you'll never know.
Yeah, they'll never know that you did that. I mean, that he may have done that.
Mayhaps.
And then finally, before the sign off, thank you guys, the viewers, for coming in and tuning in. And as always, as promised, I'll go ahead and read off the follows for the stream. So thank you, Surfy Hoops, Aura Creature, Noodle Z, Elohim, Sovdom, Mananote 233, Sepham, and Trank 11. Thank you for the follow, Trank. Thank you for the 200 bits, my friend. The support is gloriously accepted. Never expected, but always appreciated. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. This has been Stidle24 and MrAlan, aka Mr. Dongles, casting for the Owlet, and that you just saw We Stomp on LAN win over Aftermath in a 3-2 victory. So you guys have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next weekend.
Toodle.